Hi there, third graders. I am super excited to get back to Gasping Garbage. I love this story so much. And Doyle and Fosse are ready for another adventure. They have solved the problem of the gasping garbage, and we are on today to chapter 3, Frog Hollow. So, I see a picture of a frog. I see the words Frog Hollow. So I'm trying to think what kind of problems could happen with frogs that they have to solve. That's going to kind of get my brain thinking and ready for this chapter. What kind of problems might happen with frogs? Well, let's see. Chapter 3, Frog Hollow. Let's find out. It was Friday after school when Drake Doyle was once again busy with an important experiment. Test tubes bubbled and beakers boiled. Just as I thought, he murmured. My hypothesis is confirmed. He wiped the fog off his glasses and scribbled in his lab notebook. Remember, we talked about a hypothesis. That's a guess, but it's based on some sort of scientific evidence. So it's an educated guess. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Come in, said Drake. Mrs. Doyle popped her head around the door. You have a visitor, she said, a wet one. And in trotted Dr. Livingston. Mrs. Doyle closed the door. Drake put down his notebook. This must be important, he thought. Very important. Nell never sent Dr. Livingston unless it was highly important. Good boy, said Drake. He scratched Dr. Livingston behind his ears. Then he reached inside the pouch that hung from Dr. Livingston's neck. Wait a second. If you say, good boy, and you scratch something behind their ears, and they have a pouch that's hanging from their neck, can you guess what kind of character that is? Is that a person? No, I'm pretty sure that's a dog. Dr. Livingston is a dog. Drake withdrew a blank sheet of paper. He flicked on a lamp and held the paper over the bulb. Gradually, words appeared. Ooh, interesting. A secret message. Detective Drake, meet me at Frog Hollow ASAP. Not a moment to lose. Signed, Naturalist Nell. P.S. Bring umbrella, etc. It's wet. Do you know what ASAP means? It means as soon as possible. He needs to hurry. Drake quickly pulled on his raincoat and boots. He grabbed his umbrella on his way out the back door. Bye, Mom! I'll be at Frog Hollow with Nell. Affirmative, said Mrs. Doyle. Be back by supper time. Remember, affirmative is a way to say yes. Drake closed the door behind him and pushed up his glasses with his finger. He whipped open his umbrella and said, Follow me, to Dr. Livingston. Drake stepped off the porch into the rain, slipped, and fell with a splat. Oh no, there's a problem. He's fallen down. But is that a big problem? I think he's going to get right back up. So I don't know that it's a big problem. Let's keep reading. Dr. Livingston licked Drake's face. Oh, that's another clue that Dr. Livingston is a dog. Drake struggled to his feet, and off they went. Over hill and over dale. Finally, they reached Frog Hollow, and there was Nell in her yellow raincoat and naturalist cap. She was examining something with her magnifying glass. What is it, Naturalist Nell? Drake asked, bending down beside her. Besides being a superb scientist, Nell Fosse was also a naturalist. If it crawled, Nell took notes. If it hopped, Nell followed. If it grew, Nell drew graphs. Nell loved nature. Nature was her specialty. But today, Nell was troubled. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Uh-oh. We're going to pause right there. Something is wrong at Frog Hollow. We're going to have to find out what's wrong. Something was wrong, very wrong. Look here, she said. This is a leopard frog. In fact, this whole meadow is full of them. But you already knew that. Correct, agreed Drake. That's why it's called Frog Hollow. Every spring, Nell continued, female leopard frogs must find a pond in which to lay their eggs. So, what's the problem? Asked Drake. Follow this frog and you'll find your answer, replied Nell. The frog began to hop. Nell and Drake followed, with Dr. Livingston close behind. The frog hopped over a log. It hopped around a rock. It hopped through the tall grass. It hopped and hopped and hopped. And then something terrible happened. The frog hopped onto a road and zoom, squish. Ew, said Drake. Ugly, said Nell. Woof, said Dr. Livingston. Now what do we do? Asked Drake. Follow me, said Nell. After looking in both directions, Nell led the way across the road and down the other side, and there, sitting all alone with not a frog in sight, was a pond. Oh gosh, here's a big problem. Now, I know he slipped earlier in the story, and that I would say is a small problem, but this is a pretty big problem. We have frogs trying to get to their pond to lay their eggs, but there's a road in their way. Would you say that was a big problem? Yes. Or maybe, or no. I would say, gosh, that's a big problem for those frogs to have to try and cross a road. Indeed, answered Nell, this road was built just a few months ago. In order for the female frogs to lay their eggs, they have to cross the road, finished Drake. Exactly. And you can see the results for yourself, Nell sighed. The whole leopard frog population is in danger. If they can't get to the pond, there won't be any new frogs. So what can we do? Asked Drake. Let's see, how would you solve this problem? What would you do if you saw some frogs that are crossing the road? And here's a great picture. You can look at the picture in your book if you want a close-up version or you want to look at it a little bit longer. It's on page 22. Oh, there's Dr. Livingston. There's Doyle and Fossey. And there's the frogs that are trying to cross this road. That helps me think about the setting, the characters, and now I can really see a clear problem. What would you do to solve the problem? Nell set her mouth in a firm line. Drake could tell she was serious, dead serious. Come to my house, she said. My mom's still at work, but I'm sure she won't mind if we make some road signs. We must save the frogs. Check, said Drake. Nell's bedroom was like a jungle. Nature headquarters, they called it. Terrariums, aquariums, fly traps, and ant farms lined the walls. Paper vines hung from huge papier-mâché trees. A moist, hamster smell of sawdust, fish food, and lizard breath clung into the air. I have to read that again. That was kind of a tongue twister. A moist, hamster-ish smell of sawdust, fish food, and lizard breath clung to the air. It was even a little steamy. Drake's glasses fogged. Oh boy, I can really picture her bedroom. All afternoon they worked. They outlined and colored and glittered and painted. They glued and stapled and taped and hammered. Finally, they were finished. Slow down, the sign said. Frog crossing, nature in progress. There, Nell nodded with satisfaction. That should do it. Do you think that's going to solve the problem? Tell me yes, that's going to solve the problem. No, that's not going to solve the problem. I'm not sure. We're going to find out in the next chapter.